Hey guys, the more I think about it, the more I am just so with Iran. How can I support this Epstein pedophile government? Not one arrest, nobody's gone to jail. I'm not even sure if Epstein's dead. Trump is wishing Ghislaine Maxwell his very best. He's like totally friends with her, and he's always considering pardoning her. I voted for Trump. I voted for Biden. They're all Epstein pedos, every one of them, because they have to have transgressions in order for them to be in charge. That's how Israel runs their bitches. So, with that said, I think we should all be rooting for Iran right now. It's sad that they're going to kill some of our guys, but what we need to do for that is we need to get in the ear of all these young people who have joined or are going to join, and we need to tell them, hey, now's the time for civil disobedience. You can't be fighting wars on behalf of evil. And if you do this, then for the rest of your life, you're going to feel like shit because you shouldn't be doing that. Like everybody in the military, they're human just like you and me. So they intuitively know that they're not fighting for good because you're not protecting America. You're like way far away from America. That's not protecting America. Nobody's attacking America. The only branch of service that actually protects America is the Coast Guard. Like literally, they're the only one. The rest of the military is for Israel and their benefit. And if you're fighting in our military, that means you're going to fight and you're going to die for a group of people who hate you. And, who wants to go out like that? That's like a sucker's bet. And trying to invade Iran is geographically impossible. That's why Trump is now blockading the Strait of Hormuz himself, is because, like, if I can't have it, then no one can. He's throwing a big temper tantrum. And I would really hate to be somebody in the Navy right now. Because could you imagine you're just out there sitting in this floating tin can and, if they somehow manage to sink an aircraft carrier or something like that, it's going to be a nightmare. Because, like nobody's going to be able to help them. And they're just going down. And it's like these aircraft carriers can't move that fast. So it's like, they have the destroyers with them that shoot the missiles out of the air and stuff like that. But if something gets through, it's going to be crazy. It's going to be crazy, and I feel real sorry for those guys. I think we should pray for them, and I think we should pray for them to have a change of heart and realize that the military only likes to get 18-year-olds, 17-year-olds, because adults know better. We've built our life. We don't need anything, and the people who join the military, they really want some personal gain in their life. They want that VA loan. They want those. They want that. The money so they can get the Dodge Challenger and all the things that they think is the American dream. But I think the American dream is having a government that represents the people, for and by the people, and we obviously don't have that right now, because if we did, a lot of people would be getting hung, legally hung. They would hang them. They would hang them high. And you've seen child trafficking operations go down. You've seen Israeli pedophiles get caught, and rather than getting jailed and forced to account for their actions, they are sent to back to Israel, where they're not going to be extradited back here. You've seen, if you're an American and you've seen what I've seen, then this is not your government. This is not your government. This is this government is like completely taken over, and you can't trust any of them. And so you have to vote, if you're going to vote, for the people who have the least amount of signs, the least amount of support, because those are the patriots who are stepping up, who want to fix things. And if you notice that all of a sudden they get support, you need to look at who's getting behind them and who's funding it, because usually once you see the money that's coming in, if it's not grassroots, it's always these guys. It's some Sheldon Adelson like character, some Jewish tech wizard, you know, forcing people on us. J.D. Vance is a puppet of Peter Thiel. Donald Trump is a puppet of Israel and the Adelsons, and whatever other Jay has pictures of him diddling little children in their pocket. We need to be hyper vigilant. We need to be hyper vocal, and we need to always be willing to step up and just say the truth. Last night, my child came over to my house. My child had a friend come over to our house, and her mother is a teacher at one of the schools around here. And I always like to get to know the friends of my children, so I brought her into my home, and because they're gonna have sleepovers and stuff like that. So I got to know her, she's got to know me, and we got to know what kind of people we are, so we can be sure of who we're having our kids around. Because my guess is my daughter's going to be going over to their house too. So anyways, I'm getting to know her, and we start talking, and the next thing you know, she starts talking a little bit like me, and she wasn't as articulate as I am about what's going on. She wasn't, but she knows. I think all of America, we know deep down that these people are destroying our country. We know deep down that it doesn't make sense to have grades 5 through 12 be forced to learn about the Holocaust, but nobody learns about the Bolsheviks and the 60 million Christians that were massacred by the predominantly Jewish people who were in charge at the time, who oversaw the mass slaughter of Christians, and it was like 80% Jewish. So and then when you talk to ChatGPT about it, they say no, they weren't Jews, and then you're like, wait a minute, so they weren't ethnically Jews, and then it has to walk it back. So anyways, but it's not an ethnicity anyways, it's an ideology, and they want to make it an ethnicity because then you can't talk bad about it, because then you're talking bad about an ethnicity, and it's like you're racist. But the reality is, you could just be, and I say this every time, you could just be an Ashkenazi American or an Ashkenazi European, or wherever you're at. You can have your Ashkenazi heritage, and you don't have to be a J. You don't have to. So I'm always going to say that, because that reinforces the fact that the choices that you make are your decision, and you weren't born that way. You chose to be that way. And it's the God's honest truth. So that's my message for today. And I hope everybody's well. Thank you for watching my videos. Thank you for noticing. Thank you. And if you ever have any questions, put them in the comments. I'd love to interact with people, and I'm going to keep making these videos. And if you're a little hat and you're watching this, be a better person. Just say the truth. Stop saying that everybody hates you just because you put on a little hat, because that's not true. If you're a little hat, people don't like you because you think it's okay to genocide people. If you're a little hat, people don't like you because you gaslight them when they see a problem and they bring it up. You're like, no, that's not a problem. You're just an anti-little hat. And you forever shun responsibility, and everybody else is held to account for your actions, and we all die for you. We suffer for you. And yeah. So anyways, be better people. Everybody, God bless. Love you. Bye.